It's raining again. Seems like every time I get together to do these things, it's pouring rain out. Maybe because I can't go outside. But somebody asked me about, what is it I really want to do with these stories, and I really didn't have an answer, but I think they answered it for me. They really enjoyed the actors' stories and the crazy stuff that happened. So I'm going to kind of stumble my way through this story, excuse me, as I remember what happened. I was working on a show called JaimeG. I don't know if you remember that show. I don't remember who was in it. But I didn't really work with the stars of the show pretty much. It was kind of, we had our own kind of storyline going on about a soldier who was killed during friendly fire. He ran onto the artillery range, if I'm remembering correctly. But the whole adventure of it was amazing. We were shooting out in Victorville, out in the desert. It was, probably 110, 115 degrees. It was really hot. And the first day of shooting, they took us out to the set, and the set was really far away from where base camp was, and the trailers and the food, craft service, which is my favorite part, which is essentially, a table with all kinds of snacks and everything you can munch on and drinks and stuff during the day. So that's kind of the best part of movie making, in my opinion. Interesting enough, the crafts services used to be somebody on set who could do anything, who was an electrician, who was a construction worker, who was a carpenter, who could do any craft. He was, or she was somebody that could do, as I said, anything, but then it kind of evolved into craft service is food. So there's a little interesting Hollywood tidbit. But we went so far away from the trailers, we couldn't go back. There was just tumbleweeds and cactus and just scrub. And they dropped, I think, about 6 of us off, and these guys immediately took off their shirts and were just kind of hanging out, getting a suntan. But I knew I'd done clear and present danger before this, so I knew the importance of being covered from head to toe, protection from the elements with down to a scarf, with your headgear, gloves, 2 shirts on for insulation, boots, pants tucked into your boots. So I was well aware of that. But and that reminded me when one time I was sleeping in the jungle, and I kind of snuck off in between shots, and I leaned up against a tree, and I was just exhausted, and it started to rain. It just started sprinkling, and the rain woke me up. And as I said, I was covered from head to toe, and I looked up, and all these spiders came out of the trees, purple. They were purple bodies with black legs. Millions of them all came down, landed on me, covered my whole body, my face, my ears, my lips, in my nostrils, and I just froze. I just stayed perfectly still, and they just all came off of me and went into the foliage. And I looked around, and I was away from the crew. Nobody saw what happened, and I didn't share it with anybody because they might have thought I was absolutely crazy. But that was in the jungle. But back to the desert, I found a huge, tumbleweed scrub bush, but it wasn't really green. It was kind of yellowy and dried out. I got on my hands and knees, and I dug out a little hole, and I climbed inside of it to get as much shade as I possibly could. And I just curled up in a ball and just tried to sleep, and just tried to stay calm, and tried to wait. And the other guys with their shirts off, in about an hour, they were just dying of thirst, sunburned, you name it. And the night before we'd been out, went out with famed stunt coordinator, military coordinator guy, Dale Dye. And we'd gone to this little seedy bar out there. And of course, we were out too late, but had a great time meeting, hanging out with him. I think he worked on every big movie. Did Apocalypse Now. You name it. You can look him up. His name's Dale Dye. But what a character that guy was. And so, anyways, he was supposed to be our military attaché out there, or liaison out there, and he comes pulling up in a Hummer. And they have the director there, and the camera operator is there with his camera. And he says, "Hey, Jaime, let's go. We're doing the driving stuff." I said, "Okay." So I dug myself out, and he's looking at me like, this guy, either he thought that I understood to stay out of the sun, or he thought I was a complete lunatic, or maybe a little of both. But I got into the Hummer. They had a 5-point harness. I put on my goggles. I had a balaclava over my face, and I put on the straps and I strapped myself in, properly. 5-point harness. Guy next to me, I told him the same thing. I said, "You better strap yourself in, because I'm not sure what we're doing here." The cameraman was over my right shoulder, and he had like a climbing clip, and he had a rope tied around him, just a rope. And he clipped into a rope that was tied across the back of our seats. And the director was behind him, not strapped in at all. So you maybe could see where this story's going. But they said, "Okay, all right, drive through the desert." So I'm driving, I'm just kind of cruising. We didn't do any recon. I don't know what's out there. So the director keeps telling me, speed up. So I'm going faster and faster and a little bit faster. And he's going, "Come on, let's go, get going." So we're jamming. Now we're cooking. We're doing 50 miles an hour. And I'm just holding on to this thing, four-wheeling through the desert. And we come down this wash, we come over this other wash, boom, and we hit the other side. And I can see out of the corner of my eye, I see the director. He gets airborne and he kind of lands, and he's like, "Woohoo, that's great. He's like, "Go, go, go." So I look at the guy next to me and I just say, "All right, man, let's do this thing." So now I'm even picking up more speed, and I'm just on the flat desert going, mountains everywhere, nobody around. And then the same thing, I come down this wash, and it looked like there was a river, like a small riverbed. I came through the riverbed, and then there was this, it looked like a petrified log. There was no trees out there. But it was, imagine a log that's probably, 20, 30 feet across this way, and big, as high as a dining room table. And it just came out of nowhere. So I see it, and I want to hit it straight on, so that will go up it and not, over it. There's no turning at this point. So we come down, and I see this thing. Now I hit this thing, boom. Now I can see the director's tennis shoes out of my peripheral vision here as I'm looking around, and we're just like, we're fully airborne. I can see the cameraman. The cameraman is up, and the only thing holding him in is that rope, because he's straight up. We land on the other side, boom! Everybody hits the bed of the truck. Slams, boom! And I'm strapped in. I'm feeling all right, and the thing completely bottoms out, boom! And we bounce. And then right there is a wash that comes together like this. It's like triangular, right? and I have a split second. I see it. I don't know if I go right, I might roll it. If I go left, I'm going to roll it this way. So I just said I'm going for it. So I tried to go up it like this. So we bottomed out and we went boom right up it. And I got the skid plate on top of it like this. And as we're going up it, the wheels go in two different directions because of the triangular shape of the wash as it comes down like this. The wheels go, and you just hear the wheels go. They both get completely broken out this way. And the thing slides on its plate, just plowing through the desert, and we stop like this. All this dust. And I'm like, you all right? Is everybody all right? The guys in the back, I mean, their eyes are this big. Poor guy sitting next to me, he's an extra. And he's just terrified. And I'm sitting there, okay, everybody's all right. Everybody's all right. The dust is settling. And then the director, the shaky hand, he grabs his radio and he goes, we're going to need another Hummer. Jaime broke the Hummer. Jaime broke the Hummer. So that was kind of my moniker, that Jaime broke the Hummer. We got out of the truck and go around to the sides, and sure enough, the wheels were like this. And the transmission, the four-wheel drive, huge steel transmission thing that was in the front was just completely open, and oil was just coming out of it, just going glug, 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 just pouring right out of it. So we were stuck there for a while. They ended up bringing another Hummer, and we ended up, getting the shot, but probably doing 25 miles an hour instead of 50 miles an hour. And we got it, and I drove it back to base camp, and we got out, and the director, I'll never forget it, he gave me this look like he'd survived something that he'd never been through before. And as he walked away, who comes out over his shoulder? It's Oliver North. And Oliver North goes, how you doing, soldier? He goes, my name's Oliver North. Damn glad to meet you. And that was day one of that shoot. So it was pretty exciting. But if you like this video, you like this podcast, please click like, leave a comment. Let me know if there's other stuff you want to hear. Please subscribe if you'd be so kind. And yeah, there's more stories to come. Thanks.